Hey everybody, we are back again with another episode of
Dynasty Queens.
I am your girl Nia J, and I'm with my beautiful co-host
Pamela and Nicole. What's up, guys?
Yes, guys, we have a very special guest in the building today. We have the amazing Trish Silverstein.
Thank you.
Yes, co-founder of Puzzle Pieces Squared.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here.
This is a great opportunity.
Absolutely. So Trish, I know that your story is very heartfelt, and I want you to really share with the viewers the importance of, autism awareness and the start of your journey with your sons.
All right. Well, it started 10 years ago when we discovered financial things were not as easy as we thought they would be. We found insurance was not covering certain things we needed for the boys. Yes. And so my husband and I sat down and we had family help, but other people don't always have that family help.
Right.
And so when we needed those specialized therapies, our family was there for us and they could help us financially. But then we thought, how could we extend this and help our community? Because there are so many people out there without that.
Right.
So 10 years later, we're into almost 60 families. We've helped teachers in their classrooms, and we, are continuing our work every single day. It's a daily thing for us.
Right.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like she's saying, with insurance, they pick and choose what they want to cover for. It doesn't even really matter what type of, thing is going on. Like you have autism, you have occupational therapy, you have all these other things that are necessary.
Even a simple thing like a wagon stroller that can strap the child in with a 5-point harness. Yeah. It's very expensive. It's not a typical thing that you're going to buy. So that alone can be helpful for a family to be able to go out where they hadn't before. So little things like that, and then all the way to safety issues like fencing, so that we have elopers in a safe space and they can enjoy themselves, and their parents can be I feel a lot better about it.
Absolutely. Now, I know a lot of our viewers aren't really versed on autism. Would you mind just going a little bit into autism as a whole, and then if you don't mind sharing your experience as a parent with autistic children?
Well, I'll start with the fact that as I was a teacher, and when I taught, I had some special education students that would come into our classroom, and so I would co-teach, and that's where I had my first, sampling of the diversity of learning abilities in a classroom. And then much years later, I had the kids, and when they were diagnosed, we realized they neurologically were different. They thought different. Their systems got overloaded so fast, and one of the twins was a sensory seeker, so he needs to push into things. He needs to barrel into you, bang his head against you or against things. And the other guy, he didn't want you to touch him. He didn't want to be held or squeezed or anything. He wanted to be left alone. So we realized right away the differences for our kids. And then, of course, as they got older, what you notice is the learning could be delayed. The speech is delayed oftentimes. Even walking, my kids were 18 months before they started walking, which is, a little bit late. So as they grew and we learned more things, and I stopped teaching so that I could spend more time with them. Yeah. Basically, we found autism is just a difference in learning and thinking. They think of things in a different way, and if you could realize or think back, look back at what they're trying to get to, then it's understanding them in a way that it just brings joy. Absolutely. Joy when they are successful.
And that's really something to think about.
Yeah.
Like your boys had the two opposite cases and scenarios. Yes. Are there other symptoms and signs for parents and to look out for?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So early on, it could be developmental. It could be sensory. They're very upset and you can't figure out why they're upset. Yeah. So early on, 2-3 years old, you could notice those things. The earlier the intervention, the better. So if parents are watching out for that, autism is a spectrum, and it's not about their behaviors and things. It's about their abilities. Yes. So what they can do with support and what they can't do has to be supported. So it can be an extreme. We have nonverbal, we have non-communicative kids. Basically, they can share their thoughts and emotions, but they have to do it in a different way.
Right.
And so we have iPads that help with that nowadays, communication devices and things like that. And so that's another thing Puzzle Pieces has helped a lot with, is bridging that gap where insurance is not going to get them an iPad, but these communication devices are thousands and thousands of dollars, whereas we can go in with an iPad that has programming and it really helps them save and also.
I know
We just had another iPad go out last night, and it's just wonderful because then the parents come back and say, this is how the iPad helped my child.
Right. And the technology, those gains in technology are helping.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
As far as like other parents that need like assisted help, like a nurse or anything, does P2 also incorporate that as well?
In the past, we have helped with respite care, providing the financials behind respite care. So we're not actually providing the services, but we can do some recommendations. And oftentimes we have other parents that we've already helped who can recommend services. And then, yes, we can provide the financial support that they need for respite care, or, sometimes aides have to be in the home. We had one cute little boy a long time ago who needed one-on-one support while he healed from a broken leg surgery, because the parents could, they're working and they couldn't keep an eye on him. They needed one-on-one support, and we were able to do that. So things like that, have been through the years. It's been 10 years, crazy.
10 years, but yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Beautiful thing.
Now I have to ask, I don't know if this seems controversial or not, but
Probably is.
probably is. I've seen a special recently about, I forgot this particular name it's called, the people that assist nonverbal people. Some may be autistic, some may not be. They assist, those people when it comes to going to school or going to work, and there's a person that helps them type what they're trying to say.
Yes.
Facilitators.
Yes.
What is your opinion on that? Because I know we talked about some of the kids being on the spectrum and having access to iPads.
Yes.
But having an actual facilitator on your behalf, how do you feel about that?
I personally think that would be an amazing thing for so many kids. My own in particular, I feel like I am that person for them. And I would love to give that job to someone else.
Right.
But I have one who's in college, is going to graduate in May. I've got one working full time. So they, with that support, with that assisted support, they can do so much more. They're not as limited.
Right.
And so what my husband and I always say, Jared is really fond of saying, find your strength, find what you're good at, find what they're good at, and go with it, run with it, keep moving with that. And I think that my kids got that drive from their dad. Yeah.
That is amazing. Like, it really is. But I'm sure it was tough in the early years.
Yes, it was. And we don't like to talk too much about that because, we've healed from it. We've moved on. But it was trauma all around. We were running after one of them into traffic. We were getting a call from a camp. He can't stay because he keeps eloping. He keeps running up to the highway, and that's unsafe. So, those types of things. And then the school system. And I hate to, talk too much about the school system, but it was a very big challenge back then to get any services that my kids needed, because they didn't present as typically autistic.
Oh, okay.
They were socializing in some way, one of them side by side, the other one actually had 2-3 friends growing up the whole time. They had a little group of friends. But basically, the school system failed us for a little while. We found a way back, and they're flourishing now. Now, I did do homeschool during COVID for 2 years.
Okay.
I have an autoimmune disease, so basically I had to stay away from everybody anyway. We kept them home. We graduated them from homeschool. One did a program on the computer so that he could go to college, and the other one just did it with me. And so again, assisted learning, helping them, iPads, any of that. Very helpful. Very helpful. So many opportunities now that weren't there 20 years ago when we were starting out.
Absolutely. And I know I have a background in pediatrics, so like having ABA therapy and all that stuff is just so crucial. I did want to ask you, as far as with everything happening in the world right now, the cuts to Medicaid, the cuts to all this, what are your thoughts and what's your take on that for, special needs children and parents that are struggling right now to financially take care of their children?
Yeah, I think that everyone's scared. I've reached out to some in my community and basically worried the services are already being cut, their funding is being cut. There's hope. There's hope on the horizon. Hopefully we'll get what we need. But as far as that budget cuts, I try to stay away from all of that political stuff. But we're here for families to reach out.
Yes.
If you need support, if you need help, the community that we pulled together has been amazing. We have almost 100 families who we track, we follow, we see how things are doing, how their kids are doing, watch their kids grow up and see how these services have benefited them.
That's beautiful. That's all right there. That's just a joy in itself to watch the progress, It's like your babies too at the end of the day, and you get to just see them blossom and flourish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people that are just moving along in life and don't experience, having people with special needs in their family. I know I've had them, stuff like that. They don't understand. And, I'm so glad you're doing the work that you are doing, though, because it does give families hope.
Right. And we talk about autism awareness, and I think everyone is aware now.
Yeah,
We're aware for the past decade, we're aware, but we need to be more accepting of the differences, understanding of those differences, that kid might be doing whatever they're doing over there on the ground, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Just have a little bit of care and understanding and compassion.
Yeah.
And I think we're trying to spread that as well.
and they're expressing themselves the way they know how to do.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So I also wanted to tap in a little bit. I know that we talked about autism awareness and stuff like that. For an adult,
Yes.
who has ever questioned whether or not they were on any type of level of the spectrum or thought about getting tested themselves, what are some steps that they should do and take in order to find out?
So that is very common now. There's a lot of research coming out that older adults are going back and they're getting diagnosed. I say go for it. If you think that you have a neurodiversity in your brain, you probably do. Okay, so if you do, you go with it. Go to your doctor, talk to them, just bring it up and say, hey, I'm hearing these things that this could be me. ADHD is another big one that is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I had my own journey with that during COVID because I was a mess. I didn't know what was going on. And I went to my doctor and he said, well, you do know you have ADHD. And I said, what? He goes, well, your kids are autistic. Did you think that it came from somewhere? And I'm like, well, that's one of the ways, And so that's another thing. Like, the parents of these kids should probably take a really good look at their own brains and see if there's any other combinations that they could use.
Right.
Maybe not even all the way going to get a diagnosis, because it's hard as an adult to walk into a doctor and say, I think I might be on the spectrum or I might neurodiverse. If they can't do that, then just, go with whatever it is you think you need to help you go through your day successfully. Do it.
So can people that have not been clinically diagnosed get help from you and your team?
Unfortunately, we work with only people who have the diagnosis.
Gotcha.
And generally, we have not had too many adult
Gotcha.
help. So most of these are kids whose families are struggling to get them the support, and they do have formal diagnosis. That's our number one. We have to have paperwork.
Gotcha. Because unfortunately, probably a lot of the older generation, they may have been improperly diagnosed.
Oh, absolutely.
We all have people in our background where they said, oh, Aunt so-and-so was institutionalized in 1930, stuff like that. And you're like, did that person need a lobotomy, or did it have to go to that extent? Everyone was just labeled as a mental case, and that's not what it was.
It's different, like being on the spectrum, like you said.
Yeah.
It's an array of different things. It's not just basically just, as they would say, like, you're crazy or whatever it is. Like, it's a vast spectrum of different things. Absolutely.
Right. So with every group, because we're talking about autism awareness, are there certain words and phrases that we should not use when it comes to autism that may be offensive? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. Let's see. We don't term Asperger's anymore as a type of autism.
Okay.
We don't do that because even though there are several, probably 100,000 people with that diagnosis, and they were that age, we have since learned through history, reading, research, that the doctor that was naming it was a Nazi. So we try to stay away from any kind of, now there are still adults who will say, I self-identify as Asperger's syndrome, and that's their right. However, the autism community really frowns on that. The other thing is we really want everyone to use identity first language. So basically, we're not saying autism anymore. We're saying I am autistic or my son is autistic. And so, that's another one. Now, if there's anything else that I would keep away from.
Gotcha.
Have you heard anything?
Well, the Asperger's one is pretty interesting. I didn't know that phrase
I had no
was
idea
done
that
with.
either.
And then also, what about they say being a true savant? Everyone can have gifts and abilities.
Yeah,
As far as you know,
there's a twice exceptional. And I think that's probably what you're referring to. That's someone who was diagnosed with autism, but also gifted.
okay.
And so they have a very high IQ. They're able to learn rapidly and go far with that, but socially unable to
adequate.
have to get support socially. And so I think that's where the savant idea comes in. And of course, what was that movie where the guy was a savant with numbers and he was supposedly autistic? I think right now, if I'm correct, there are 3 levels. Autism 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
They just grouped them all into autism 1, 2, and 3. And I believe that as you go further, that's the more challenging.
Okay.
And so you have people from one end who you'll see out and about, and you may not even know that they are autistic. You would not know with my children until you get to know them.
Right. Okay.
And so there's level 1, and then we've got level 3 where they can be potty trained. They're still going in their diapers. They have caregivers 100% of the time. And I think a lot of people only see one end of that.
Today's episode of Dynasty Queens is brought to you by Drip Top, the newest, hottest trend in fashion. You guys, if you love fashion, being a trendsetter, looking your best, you can have it all in the palm of your hand. This Drip Top app is what it's about. Fresh trends in fashion. Please believe me, we know what's up. Whether you're into streetwear, the chic style, it doesn't matter. You can be going out a night in the town. We got you. Make sure you check us out. Browse this app. It's at just the drop and click of the tap of the screen. Let's roll. Drip Top.
And the best part of it too is it's not just about discovering new fashion. It's about the community. It's a full-on community. So you can follow your favorite content creators. You can get tips and tricks to your fashion, whatever you want to do. And on top of that, you can level up your style.
Right.
It's a great thing. So y'all go ahead and download the Drip Top app. You can get it on Google Play and the App Store, Apple Store. And go ahead and look it up. It's Drip Top, DRIPTOCK, and level up your style today. Also, go ahead and visit the website at www.driptop.com, or you can go ahead and scan the QR code right here on our screen. Y'all, don't forget, stay bold, stay fresh, and stay all together with Drip Top.
Are there so much confusion because just the word autism, to me, in this point in day, it's so broad. I'm trying, it's since it has so many levels to it, it almost feels unfair to categorize everyone in that just one.
Absolutely. And
category.
You can different terms and phrases. Another one I've heard a lot is just as a whole, just saying on the spectrum. Now, do you feel like that is appropriate to say? Or how do you feel about when someone says on the spectrum?
Personally still use on the spectrum. I know that we're trying to lean towards that different language, but my kids would use it too.
Okay.
I think the community decides, if you can listen to the autistics that are actually communicating with us and saying, look, we don't like this and we don't want to be known. The other thing is, and I'll speak on this, puzzle pieces are kind of taboo now because, again, it stems back to another nonprofit that started with a light bulb and a blue puzzle piece. And they were saying that the child was missing a piece and that they should be cured.
And I remember seeing that.
I remember seeing that logo. And they've since done away with that logo, but they still stick with the blue and whatever. But when we started, Puzzle Pieces Squared was more puzzle pieces like we're trying to figure out what support and resources are missing.
Yeah, that's how
that we could give to our children. Yes. And so we've always been very clear on that. We have never thought, anything like that. But recently we went to P Squared or P2 because it's easier to say. Yeah. My friend Teresa would really like you to know that because Puzzle Pieces Squared is a mouthful. So we're going with P2 and, that works for us. We're still kind of using the puzzle pieces in our decor a little bit, but
but I understand why you do.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, I'm respectfully that it's a little bit of a stretch.
Right.
Yeah.
But
It's a mouthful.
But we are trying to honor the autistic community and their voices.
yes, absolutely.
So that is the piece there. So we have a lot of fundraisers coming up. If anyone wants to come golf, we have a golf outing in September 29th.
Okay.
And so then we have also a fun walk in October. You can bring your kids.
Okay.
You can sign up right now on our website and you can form a team and you can all fundraise. And you could get your friends to donate and fundraise with you. And then we all come together and we do this walk in any way around this track in Pennsauken and basically have a blast collecting candy around the track. And some of the kids dress up, some of the adults do too. My husband included. And we have a really cute little Halloween party afterwards with snacks and treats. So it's a very inclusive environment. We try to keep it, low key, low level, no expectations. Some of the kids come and they bike and some of them hop and some of them, get carried. It doesn't matter. So it was, this will be our third one.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all. So that's one of two fundraisers. And then each year we do a huge gala fundraiser.
Okay.
At the V in Philadelphia. And basically love the entire night away. This year $30,000 was raised in one night.
Oh, wow.
Most ever.
Oh, wow.
And we are basically planning the next one already for May. I have to check my date. May 8th. May 8th. So it's usually in June, but we're pushing it back to May 8th.
Okay.
And it's a Friday night. So we like to do the Friday night so people can come in and enjoy themselves. Valet parking.
Oh, yeah.
We did all the whole works. It's a huge flow, and you get to hear from our families who've received support, and you need to hear how we've supported them and the expectation.
That's beautiful. I am curious. I know, when you get a diagnosis, what is the youngest child that y'all have been involved with? What was the youngest diagnosis that y'all been involved with?
I would say 3.
Okay.
But recently, I think doctors are diagnosing a little bit sooner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did have a 2-year-old come in the process of being diagnosed. And as soon as that is finished, we'll help them out. But yeah, we have 3. They're so cute at that age too. They're still so cute, and they love hugging my leg, and it's very feeding the families.
So do you know, how at that age are you able to really categorize them in one of the 3 levels of autism? Or
from what I've read, is it usually they can do that, and they do that as early as 3. But I'm finding, at least with my own children and my own experiences, that maybe they don't stay at that level. If they get the correct supports in place as early as possible, that early intervention. We're seeing a lot more of that progression with those kids.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a really good.
Yeah, I love the way her face lights up when she did everything, and she's passionate about it.
Absolutely. I know you do have another younger child as well.
Yeah.
So how has that been? How's life been with a younger child? Having older siblings with autism, how does your son?
It was hard.
Was it?
It was hard for him in the beginning. He was he was a rambunctious little guy. And so he kept busy and things like that. But he would come to us sometimes and say how hard it was to have brothers like his. But I think now it's made him a little bit more resilient and accepting. Because what I'm noticing with Spencer, he's the little guy, he's 16 now. What I'm noticing is he has an affinity for children's joy as well. So he gets that same face light up.
Yeah.
He talks to the kids that I do, that his dad does. And right now he's working as a summer camp counselor. So he's got a group of little 6-year-olds he talks about all the time. And Mom, Sophia did this and did that. And I'm like, oh, it's adorable.
I love that.
Yeah. So I think it really, really made him stronger.
Stronger, and also probably with compassion in his heart for other people.
Yeah.
Because seeing his brothers.
Seeing all the differences.
Yeah. Right. So that's amazing. That is. I just really love, like I said, the work that you're doing. So how can people find you and reach you as far as getting information in order to get part of your, organization?
We do have a website. We're at puzzlepiecessquared.com. I'm sorry, .org. And you can sign up through that website on our Give Butter site, which is how to donate, how to sign up for the event that we're having, a walk, and any of the events you can find on our website. So I would say the best way to find us is puzzlepiecessquared.org. And then from there, there's a lot of clickables. You can find out more about how we've helped families, how the husband works the process of grant intake. So you would first shoot out a quick message to us and he'll get back to you and set up a phone call. And then he talks to you just as a parent first. And he basically says, what's going on? What's most needed at this time? What's the situation?
Yeah.
How can we support you? And talks parents through. And their number one thing at the end of the conversation is always, I feel heard. I feel like you heard me and what I need. And so that's the process. They can click that right on the website, and we are pretty responsive. Within 24 to 48 hours, we usually give a response back to a family or a teacher that would inquire.
That's great. I know you're based in New Jersey. You do help the Philadelphia community. Yes. Are you planning to branch out like tri-state area, New York and Connecticut?
Yeah, so when we started, we planned New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. We helped one family so far, I think, in Delaware, but it's mostly been New Jersey and Philadelphia. Last year, the year before, we went to a Great Wolf Lodge and we taught them about autism. Yeah, kind of like what I'm doing here. Had a conversation with them, and we were able to help a family there. So technically, we helped in Maryland as well, but we are the tri-state area, and anyone from those 3 states, Delaware, Pennsylvania, or New Jersey, can contact us through the website.
Beautiful. And then are y'all ever asked to go out for like engagements out, in other parts of the country? Or what are some of the stuff you guys have done in other parts of the United States and, talking
Not quite there yet. We're still local.
Okay.
I think Great Wolf Lodge is probably the furthest we've gone with
that's
this.
great.
Right? It was a blast. And we educated almost, 800 of their employees. So that's pretty much our only outreach that far. Now, we do go to community events. We set up tables and give out all of our information, seeking donations at the same time. So we are out there, but not quite as far as we'd like to go with it.
Right.
Gotcha. We're accepting.
You're accepting.
Applications.
Are there any future plans for like a magazine for P2 or a newsletter that you're going to have out in the future?
Great. That would be great. Would you like to take that on?
Well,
that's our biggest struggle right now, because my husband started this and I was not quite on board back then because I was busy mom. And now it's full circle. I'm working on it just as much as he is. He says I'm the backbone. I'm kind of in the background doing all the fun stuff. And I mean, ordering all of the supplies for the kids, always so much fun. But yeah, he's on board with that.
I love that.
Yeah, that's good.
It's always nice and that's what I also love about like your story. You have a very supportive partner as well. In the mix. So,
Yeah, I think that if he wasn't as driven it wouldn't have gone this far because, we're 2 people. We have a committee of 8 total. My son just recently joined us on the committee.
Yeah.
And basically our committee runs the events. And again, if you want to take on that, the new like she's like, yeah, that's where we are. And we are accepting volunteers for the events, volunteers in the community. If you know someone who's looking to support a nonprofit, we are accepting donations all the time. Right now our grants are closed for acceptance. They'll be opening up again as soon as there's more funding.
Okay. Love that. So, Steph, what do you have in play for, the year's pretty much almost over, but what's in the works with P2 for 2026?
Yeah, so we have the walk going on. I would really like to see more of our community members and families come out to enjoy that type of environment. It's really inclusive. Again, that one is, the annual fun walk is October 12th.
Okay.
That's at 10:30 in the morning at the Jack Curtis Stadium track at Cooper River. I don't know if you've ever been down there. It's gorgeous. They redid the whole playground. And so it is an accessible playground as well as a track for us to go around and have the kids there.
And those
It's
bonding
safe.
moments.
Safe.
Bonding, and family.
Core memories. Yes. Core memories are being built. We have so much fun. And so that would be really helpful for both families, community members, and especially the kids. And then in September, Jared's going to be hosting the first annual charity golf fundraiser at the Golden Pheasant. And the Golden Pheasant, I believe, is Lumberton.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that'll be September 29th at 11. It's a Monday. That's when they do most of their fundraisers for golf. And for our 9th annual cocktail gala in May.
Oh.
DMS, you're welcome to join us.
Yes, definitely.
And if you can't, you're welcome to send a donation to us. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Well, I have to say, I really just appreciate you coming on the platform today and sharing all this wonderful information for people that were not aware of, autism and everything that comes with it. And just to really think about the families, the dynamic of, making sure you have a support system in place is so pivotal. But I do have to ask, do you ever have maybe a single parent or a single mom or someone that comes to you and they're like, look, the reason our marriage is struggling is because of the situation.
Oh, sure.
And then how do y'all help with those families in those moments?
Yeah, I think that the research it's a very high percentage of divorces of families that have kids with autism. So what I would say is, how can we help? I know my husband Jared would say, how can we help you in this moment, in this situation, to support the child? And what is going to be most beneficial. And I think that's what I would say. I know we've had single parents come to us and we have supported them. And it's actually been very heartwarming because I've made some relationships with those single parents. And I've tried to, keep in touch with them and keep tabs on them and see how their kids have grown.
Absolutely. Right. And so even further than that too, I'm actually curious, you just kind of sparked something in me. As far as in the foster system, I know there's a lot of families that have autistic children that they're fostering. Do you do outreach programs for them so that they're more versed in how to care for that child as well?
We don't at this time, but that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Out there in the foster care system.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because think about that. Sometimes a lot of children are overlooked.
Yes.
And they may be dealing with something. And if, foster family may not
know exactly
what to do or what steps to take.
So
yes, I think that is a lot of it, and they may not know how to address whatever the behaviors are or the needs are. And so they struggle with that. I think it's a good idea.
Yes, for sure.
More things.
Look, she's like, the brain's going. She's like,
with empowerment.
Yes,
women empowerment.
That's what this, I tell people all the time. That's the whole purpose of this platform.
Yes.
It's for women like yourself who are so inspiring. My goodness, you're doing great work in the community. I mean, for you to showcase what you're doing so everybody can help and take part. And if you're in the area, go to some of the events that she has coming up. And I'm sure some people who have children with autism may be watching. So here's your chance. We're going to make sure we have, her information and stuff dropped at the bottom of the screen and everything. But just make sure that you guys get the research and the help that you need.
And reach out at any time. puzzlepiecessquared.org.
Beautiful. Yeah, puzzlepiecessquared.org. And then where can they find you on social media?
Oh, yeah.
We are on Instagram and just recently, as of I think yesterday, TikTok. We're trying out the TikTok platform. Bear with us as these old fogies learn TikTok. We do have, the 16-year-old kind of helping us out.
But we have to do social media.
He's gonna be in charge.
Are y'all gonna do like family dances and stuff?
Well, see, he has gotten Jared to do some of those dances and caught him on camera. So that would be a fun thing to share with everybody.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's another great way to outreach people is to grab them with that and then explain what you really have going on. To reach more people. Girls, we're gonna exchange info. We're gonna stay in touch.
That's good.
Make sure everything, is good for you. And, you have that outreach because TikTok is just so good about, people are very open and vulnerable about, because you never know who you're going to touch. You never know whose life.
Yeah. And someone may see what's going on from across the country and, come to you. Yeah. Just because of the services that you offer.
Yep. Key2 should be national. That's the goal. There we go. Make it a national organization.
And we must say, we like to follow up with our guests 6 months to a year and stuff like that. So we love to see where, everything is with your organization in a year's time or 6 months to a year.
Sounds good.
Touch base with you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I would actually, before we close up, I would like to hear one of your most inspiring stories that you've had with one of your kids. That's just...
I have to choose.
Wow. Yeah, other than your sons. Yeah.
The one that just really just warmed your heart and soul.
The most heartwarming experience I had was when a mom met me at a diner and said, "Thank you for the iPad. My son told me he loves me for the first time through the music he chose with the iPad." So he communicated with her through music. And what she realized shortly thereafter is his emotions came out, the music mirrored it. So she was able to see how he was feeling. When he was angry, he was listening to that hard rock metal. Ease up. And he was, telling his mom that he loved her. I also really enjoy, we have one guy we helped to become a musician. So he's taking some School of Rock music lessons and he wants to be in a band. And we have actually seen him a couple times perform through that school. And so we were able to help, offset the cost of School of Rock is a very expensive way to learn. But his goal is to be in a band. So that's what we're helping with. Those are some really fun stories.
Yes, no limitations. I think that's the most beautiful part about the work that you do and the stories that you've shared with us today is there's really no limitations. Don't let that level 3 discourage you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. What would you say one profound thing to a parent or family that has recently come into a diagnosis and they just feel like all hope is lost? What is just something simple that you tell them? Just
that they have to reach out for support. Mm-hmm. And if they do reach out for support, you will be heard. And we understand. We understand completely the pain, the grief, and then the drive to get it done. To support your child as much as possible in any way, shape, or form. There are parents who will go to the ends of the earth finding different things that will help their children. I think we had 75 different of those tactile things at home. I brought you a couple of squishies. You support your child in what they love,
right?
What they understand, what they do. And
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
I learned so much today.
I did too.
Honestly, yes. It was very informative. Like I said, with my background, we worked with autistic children as well, and there's stuff you've taught me today that I absolutely had no idea about. So Thank you so much for all your knowledge. And, like we said, go to the website, check it out. If you need help, you will be heard.
Yes. And also, everybody, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you're watching, why not? Make sure you also comment, share your thoughts on Trisha's journey with her family and her sons. Yes.
Yeah.
And if you guys need outreach or help, she's here. So,
Absolutely. So thank y'all so much. And in closing, I am Pamela Nicole, and I've got my gorgeous co-host,
Nia J.
and this has been
Dynasty Queens.